Yeah. They could put 20 people in that bus. They could have made 830.
I doubt it. I got every late mom. Okay. They did this. I'm not worried about that.
What's going on today, sir?
How are you? Now we have.
Over in your neighborhood the other day.
I think
Over in your neighborhood the other day. I don't really get over there very well.
Take it.
Second reading, right?
Oh.
You ever do this? Figure out sometime.
I could. I can. Yeah, it'd be cooler down in the. I mean,
Figure about the temperature.
yeah, I care. It's the first weekend.
Oh
5:30, get the streets and drainage committee meeting started. Bob?
First item on the agenda is our rock salt. I told you last time that we get 400 tons.
400 tons.
Got 400 tons. And that met our quota. That's 6.
Yeah, sorry.
We met our quota from the state. We still have 10% of what was our original 600 or 700?
750 ton was our, we're right at 750. We could go to,
So really, we go
another,
75 tons.
yeah.
10%.
We're at what?
At the same price.
600.
We're at roughly 750 right
Oh,
now.
okay.
And that's what we put into buy this year. But we can go 10% over that, 375 more tons if we need to, which we may have to do. We're hoping this lasts us through the winter, and then if we have to buy some December or November before the next season starts, right at the end of 2019, we can do that. Okay, I'm glad. Well, tell the guy upstairs. And so we're doing decent. How much we have left right now?
Oh, we probably have over 400 in there. So we probably had 150 when we got our shipment.
So there's some
Just
agendas. So we're doing decent that way, though. It looks like we're still gonna get a few, like every 2 or 3 days. We could get an inch, and an inch, you still have to use material. It doesn't
uses
matter.
almost as much material as 10 inches.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
You have any more questions on the rock salt? The next thing this will be eye-opening for you. We received our estimates from Joe's for paving, and it's a long sheet. I'll just kind of tell you some of the quotes. And I talked to the mayor today. Chris and I met with the mayor and went over the paving list and what the estimates are. We have this year, the high estimate of what we could have available to us is $575,000, and that's from our $10 license plate tax and our $5 license plate tax. The low end of that, because it fluctuates month to month, we usually average, 12,000 whether a month for our $10, and maybe 6,000 or a little less with our $5 license plate tax. So we might have a low of 525, but the range will be 525 to 575. I had estimated 500,000, but it looks like we might be a little bit over that. We received our estimates today, and the first one is Licking View Drive, which we were going to pave from Hopewell to 30th Street. And that's one of the worst shaped road that we have. The mayor and I talked about things today. We are asking for that, for Licking View Drive to go under the, what do they call that? So we can get federal grant money for that. What is it?
Federal highway.
The federal highway. And I think, but that is a process of 2 to 3 years. The mayor was asking if we could delay paving Licking View Drive, but it is in bad shape. Jobs even has recommended to put a leveling course or a scratch course on road, 3/4 inches before
You wanna do Licking View where?
Hopewell 30.
From Hopewell to 30th, okay.
And then we would put 2 inches of asphalt on top of that. The distance, I think it's like 2.2 miles is what I asked. The estimate, drum roll. The estimate is $430,000 to do Licking View Drive, which I never thought that in a million years. That would be the estimate. Now,
Based on how much a ton?
well, it's cubic yard, which it is about 2 tons, so 175 for basically 2 tons. So that's 80 something.
So it's
Now-
about half what it was before?
No, I mean, when we paid before, it's been anywhere from 75 to 100 a ton. So this is kind of in the middle of that. But they tried to find out from some paving companies what they would charge this year. They didn't want to say because they haven't bid on some projects yet, so they're not going to let that info out. So these estimates usually are high, and I'm hoping that's what it is, and I hope the asphalt itself will come down. But in this estimate, with the 2 inches of asphalt, that's 210,000 alone. But the leveling course, which Scott Haynes is the one that does our estimates for us, and he went and talked to Jim Roberts because Licking View is in bad shape. We paved it in 2006. It only lasted around 9 years before it needs repair. We talked about milling it down some, but Roberts, his estimate that we did not want to lose asphalt. We wanted to put more on top because we didn't want to lose any material. So they've decided to put on this leveling course. And the leveling course alone is $100,000. Now, if we didn't have to do that, this price would be, $330 instead of $430. But we're going to have to wait for the estimates. It also talks about the last time we paved Spires, they didn't really have any traffic control. We had major problems. And so we specified that in here more. Usually you do that anyway, and they put it in the bid. But I think Spires didn't put it in the bid last time because we didn't ask for it. And we had problems. We were getting complaints. Joe was getting complaints. So he made sure he put that in there at this time. And also, this also includes all of the striping with thermoplastic, how long would you estimate that lasts?
A lot of them, it's
10,
the lifetime
15.
of the road. I mean,
Yeah, 10 or 15 years, so that's something we wouldn't have to do anymore. So this is all thermoplastic. So that estimate is $430,000.
Any idea how much the 9-year-old cost was back in '06?
No, because we might have paid there from. I think we paid from on the other side of Hopewell, and we paid to the those
condos where they're doing that development.
They didn't do it all the way to 30th Street.
But I don't know. We can check to see what that is.
Just
last
compare
time.
with
Yeah.
price
Well,
of barrel oil was
yeah.
comparable in '06.
I asked Scott that today. He said he'd have to look that up for us because I didn't get these estimates until today. But I was shocked how high stuff is. But they overestimate. Let's hope that they overestimate a lot. Let's hope that the oil prices where they are, it's going to be a lot cheaper to pave. And in our next road that we think that we need to have done is Franklin Avenue. And Franklin Avenue was about 238,000 to do. And they also suggest a 3/4 inch leveling course for Franklin because of the shape that is in. And those were the 2 roads that we were really interested. For sure, I thought we could do a lot more with the money we had. Now it looks like if we do Licking View and we try to do Franklin,
What was the cost on Franklin?
238.
238.
Yeah, that we hope that the bids come in, that we could do those 2 roads, but those are the only 2 roads that we could do.
Didn't we
we kind of earmark license plate money for subdivisions as opposed to collector roads like Franklin and Licking
I've
View?
never heard that. I've never heard that.
License permissive tax, you've never heard.
That it was earmarked for that
More,
alone?
more for residential subdivisions, and then,
I can't say.
I mean, I could understand why you're asking that, because of people paying that on their
Right.
license plates. I think it just always comes down to what road needs the most work, and is it a major thoroughfare that needs to be kept? Licking View gets a lot of traffic, it gets tons of traffic, probably wasn't designed for that in the first place.
No way. There's no way we can put a weight limit on that.
I don't know if there's
If
gonna
you
be
do-
restrictions on that federal highway.
What do you do? What do you do about the school bus?
Yeah, they're probably
Well,
running
yeah,
up
but you know,
Trash,
some trash and
Trash.
buses.
I don't know. It's probably in a bad place, you're near the river, that's, the base probably isn't that good to begin with.
buses, I think, is okay, but I'm talking about, you go down through there and Ohio Power goes down through there with probably 400 tons of 100-foot long posts
Right.
hauling down through there. Why don't they go to the main roads?
So I think the mayor and I are gonna talk to Jobs, and I think they're really pushing us to put that other 3/4 inch on there, on Licking View Drive. Franklin, he was up in the air on that, Scott was, that's a possibility that we may not have to do that, that would save us $60,000. But we gotta get more than 9 years out of these roads, and I'll just give you a few of the other ones. Green Valley Drive was a big one that we've talked about over and over, and this is Green Valley Drive, fixing the drainage and doing the curbs and gutters, like we did in Wedgewood. $165,000 to do that. Now Wedgewood was $300,000 when we did Wedgewood. Wedgewood's a bit bigger, but that price isn't as bad as I thought maybe it was going to be. They also did an estimate on Green Valley Drive without the curbs and gutters or doing the drainage repair, and that was $56,000. So, but if we do that, we might as well do it all. Beaver, and I'll do these quick, and I don't know, Doug, I'll give you these if you don't want to write these
I'm
down.
not.
'Cause the ones I said at the beginning were the most
Yeah.
important we were looking at. Though Fox Run, I think we have looked at that. Beaver Run was $21,500, and that's just a little section from Thornwood to the left, down where that little circle is.
How much?
21.5. Pike Avenue, which is a very small area from Heath Road to where they put the gate across for the airport, around 8,500. Scioto Drive, which is the apartment building off of 79 across from Jay's, almost $22,000. Now Fox Run, if you want to add this while I go, because they did it in the streets. Fox Run Drive was $30,300.
Still recorded, even though it went off.
Saddlebrook was $68,800. Other View was $54,000. And Windsong Drive was 71,800.
So that whole subdivision would be
About 200
200
something. Did anybody add that real quick?
You said 71,800, you said 1,800.
What's that?
You said 1,800, you said 71,800.
71,800.
Okay.
Probably it's 200.
close to 300 pounds.
Yeah, it's 200 something. I had it in my head today, but
225, 100.
224.
okay, we're close.
keep the press
We'll take-
and add it up.
Give her a look. So that's, if you're asking what Fox Run would be, so that's something that we could look at, that if we decide not to pay Licking View and wait, or maybe not put a leveling course on Franklin, or decide not to do Licking View at all, or whatever we decide to do, you might be able to add, Fox Run would probably be the first
What about
subdivisions we would do, though this is all of them, And some of the streets aren't so bad, so we might be able to knock that in half.
What about Greenbrier?
Greenbrier, we just did Deanna Stroll. Okay.
Now, is that with the curbs and gutter?
This one is Deanna Stroll, curbs and gutters, and fixing all drainage problems, $149,000.
For just that one?
Yep.
Okay.
About 70,700 if you don't do.
Yeah.
The curbs.
And that's the only street that they looked at in Greenbrier.
It does not say
But there's-
anything about any reduction because of the decrease in petroleum costs.
Yes, they said they're estimating from last year. They said that no contractor would give them what they're going to charge this year because they haven't bid any projects yet. So they kind of want to keep that a secret. Once the first project is bid, then we'll have a better idea of what the price of
It's
it is.
probably about in half of what
It might be. It'd be great if it was.
I mean, you know,
But
we're
that's-
probably
that's
at
common
it's
sense.
close to $100 a barrel a
You
year.
don't know if they're gonna do a lot of profiting and price gouging as a
Oh,
result.
yeah.
They like to gouge
That's-
it when they
that's
want
the
Not everybody
concern.
does
$100
everything.
Yeah.
And you had asked about Clinton and Lucky. Clinton was 15.8, Lucky was 15.5,
Kaufman Boulevard, it can't be
and Kaufman was
a small number.
around 8,000.
You could cut Fox Run in half. The oldest part
That's true.
is on the south side. You could do the main road in and then go left. That's where
That
Fed-
main
that's the
road,
first phase.
I mean,
That's wide.
that main road is as wide as any road I've ever seen in my
It's
life.
a boulevard. It's like River Oaks Drive.
Yeah.
It's real
Yes,
wide.
you're right.
You are kidding, yeah.
There's a lot of asphalt
There's a
in
lot of,
there.
yeah, there's a lot of cubic.
Yeah.
feet there.
We could narrow the road and give people more yards, maybe.
Now, some of them smaller projects have been worked out. You might be able to get some of those,
Yeah,
right?
maybe
And
John
then charge
Hendry,
them more property taxes.
maybe John Hendry would like to buy a little more and increase his car lot a little bit. But we couldn't-
Yeah.
Couldn't we, maybe possibly look at that, depending on what it come in, at some of those smaller jobs?
Yeah,
Get
what
those
we'll do, we know we have around 575. I'll
Yeah.
have to see if the mayor is willing to. Now, what we could do is add money from the capital improvements, The capital improvements used to fund almost $600,000 of paving every year, and we fund zero now.
We are looking.
So we have made up some of that money with the tax, the license plate tax. I don't know if we're at the limit of the license plate tax. But if these are the prices that are going to happen, and then you have to understand that if we pave everything this year, we'll have zero, and it takes another 3 years
To build.
to build that back up again. So all these streets that we can't pave, which are a lot,
They're gonna be waiting.
it's going to snowball and it's going to get worse and worse. So we have to find more.
We need to look into the capital improvement fund.
I mean, North just
Possibly do it.
right. North put on a street levy that failed. That's a possibility here. That we just passed the fire levy that added to property taxes. The year before that, the school put on, which added to people's property taxes. I know senior citizens in general don't like to see their property taxes go up. So it's getting to be a.
Don't look at us.
I didn't see one senior citizen over there, so I wasn't looking at you. And I'm 60, and I will never consider myself a senior citizen. So,
When does the new tax take effect?
We're done with two of them.
which new tax is that?
School tax.
It's already taken.
It's already taken effect.
Yeah. Mine went up.
Mine went up too.
They have something,
And,
they have something on ballot again in the spring, but it's
Yeah.
renewal.
Well,
It's going to 10-year, but yeah.
and maybe we could put.
Yeah.
The fire levy hasn't come on though.
It won't come on
Taxes.
until next year.
Yeah.
So the formula Scott Haynes used, he used like some of the latter year
Last
Prior
year,
bids.
on far as the asphalt,
and took a fraction of that off of there per cubic yard.
I don't know if he took anything off. I think he told me today he used what it was last year.
What it was last year.
He's thinking it could go.
I mean, raw material, aggregate, labor, price of a barrel of oil is about half of what it was.
But see, he would be, and that's true, and we're hoping the bids come in a lot cheaper. but he doesn't know that yet, and oil could change
Right.
before we go out for bid. So, I don't know.
Oil might change, but labor won't.
That's what I was
Labor
gonna
will
say,
go
yeah.
down.
That's a good.
Of course, you can blame oil and you can blame this, but labor is there.
So,
Little streets, very little.
So with that, we're going to, we'll have discussions with the mayor, we'll have discussions with Jobs, and talk about Licking View, and then also talk about Franklin. And, maybe they can give their recommendation if we could wait 3 years to do Licking View. If we wait 3 years, then it'd probably take all the money from 3 years saving to pay Licking View, but we could do some other streets this year.
If we waited 3 years, would we possibly be able to get some of the federal grant?
Yes, that, and we might be able to pay Licking View with that money, and
It's on the
maybe
list.
that's gonna be worth waiting for that 3 years and just do, you think we can get by 3 years?
We added that in planning commission.
We have to get through.
We added that road in planning commission recently. Where's the 3-year timeline coming from?
I just
John
heard that
Groff?
from John Groff, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he thinks we have no eligibility for that road for at least 3 years.
That's what I was told today by the mayor.
Yeah, it seems like he talked about that at one of my first meetings.
Yeah, I remember.
I think because they already have so many set up, like
It's just-
Hopewell's part of that,
Yeah.
State Route 79, and so the next time that Licking View would be available was 2019. Yeah, I thought he said 19 even, but.
Yeah, I think it was 19. I thought it was 18.
But anyways, I think just 'cause it hadn't been in the process already before.
So we'll go through all that, find out exactly when we might be available for that, if Licking View can last, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Got a nice Durapatch machine, huh? It's gonna be really,
It would
We're gonna
be
use the
really
heck out of
be
it.
put to the test.
Yeah, and that's not perfect, but it's sometimes, you know.
Ask the mayor if
Everybody knows
he
the board
recalls
does it.
the conversation about the permissive tax being primarily earmarked for residential streets. I recall that.
Okay, but let's just say it is. What do we do with Licking View and Frank? How we pay
Looking at, we got
How do you pay them?
capital improvements from Franklin and federal highway dollars.
Capital improvements last year was $100,000. That's not gonna be enough to pay Franklin. That's all we had for 1 year. I didn't even see a capital improvement list this year. I have,
Actually, one
now,
side worse than the other, though, you know?
we I know we have 2 million in capital improvements. I just don't know what's earmarked for 2015. I don't, we used to make a list up.
Used to have one hanging up.
We used to have a list that had the project, which helps you and helps me,
It's kind of done in conjunction with your annual budget that you.
But I don't know if
I
they're
didn't
approved.
see anything.
I know that right here, there's $227,000 earmarked for capital improvement already that came out of the fund.
Right. And we need, I put some capital improvement projects, which we'll talk about one after this. My budget for this year, and the mayor didn't say no. He said that we had some money left over from our capital improvements last year. And I do see the carryover is it's right over $2 million. So, but I don't know what plans we have for some of
We
that.
need to look into it.
Maybe we're doing this backwards. Maybe we just need to get some real bids, and then we can.
Well, we're not doing it, we're not making any decisions, I just let you know what the estimates were today. And then when the bids come in, that we have to be prepared what we're gonna do, and we'll make the decisions. Right now, we have to go over the estimates and how much money we have available to us, so we're gonna have to make decisions on what we want streets to be bid on. And if that's Licking View Drive, then that can be the only main bid, and then the rest of them are all gonna have to be addendums to the bid process, which would be Franklin. We might pick 1 or 2 more. You just can't list them all because you don't want it to go out and do 12 addendums. We're gonna have to just pick out maybe 4 or 5 streets we're gonna do. Unless we eliminate Licking View totally, then we could add a few more streets to it.
Don't get me wrong, Licking View Drive is a mess.
Right.
I mean, it needs addressed soon.
I'll have that conversation with him. So, that's good news on the pavement.
Something else to add to Licking View, what we're gonna do, and we did in the fall, was opening up the shelter underneath there. A lot of the areas where that's bad, has been really shaded over the years. We got a good start of it with that, machine we borrowed from Granville Township. Now with our bucket truck, we, plan to bring it up more, get more sunlight in there. You see, it's mostly the shaded areas.
Yeah.
Is really the deterioration in this, so that will
There's
help.
no real holes over there. It's, you guys do a super job of filling it up. It's just, you can't run 80 miles an hour like
Well, yeah.
want to,
And that- With the cold mix,
Leave
there's
it
some of
be,
that
you
stuff,
know?
even walking it, there's not a physical hole to actually apply a cold patch to. So I mean, the dirt patcher does work a little bit, but still, you're almost talking about paving a whole road with something that's, I mean,
River Oaks, there's starting to get some bad places in River Oaks.
First phase is 20 years old.
Yeah,
yeah.
and mostly the bad areas are where the water lines cross the road, where we have indentation, water set in there, and it's starting to crumble a little bit. So overall, it's not too bad. The curb and gutters are all in pretty good shape there. But that's, think about when we do that.
I was out today on our street, a couple old fellas, cleaning their driveways out. And frozen, it's even now. And the back part is where the utility people cut across the street, and it breaks the pavement. And,
Right.
and that's where the bolts come.
Or it starts to settle, or I mean, if you drive down Clarence Drive now, it's boom, 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 boom. But hopefully, when it gets warm again, it goes back down. It's just the way it is. So we'll work out something. We'll get some streets paved, and then hopefully we'll have some other federal grant money that we can use. Public Works. I don't know if we even use any of that money anymore. That Public Works could be gone. You know that? Are they starting to eliminate some of that stuff? So anyway,
Okay,
that's that.
next on the agenda.
Yep. With that, I had talked to the mayor about a truck in the street department. Chris has some. How many trucks did we buy in the 90s?
Oh, I can pass this around if you
Go
want.
ahead.
There was over 12 vehicles we purchased in the night, just for the street department alone. And I have a list here of every one of them, you can look at it. I show which one's still in service, which one's no longer with the city. One we're requesting for replacement, and that was 12 in the 90s. In the 2000s, we purchased 4 vehicles for the street department. And so far this decade, we're at 2. So we still have 4 or 5 vehicles. One's a 1993 dump truck that we currently, use to pull the Durapatcher around with. And that thing's on its last leg. So if we're talking about putting the Durapatcher to heavy duty use, the vehicle that we're requesting is smaller than that, but it would hold enough aggregate for that. And
How
And
big
what-
is it? How big is it?
it's a F550. It's about a 2-ton truck. And it would also have a dump bed, and we'd be able to put a water tank in it so that we can have another vehicle for our water treatment, and it also have a plow. Until 5 years ago, at the street department, we always had 5 tankers and 3 spreaders. A couple of our trucks got older. We replaced a 1990 dump truck 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. We sold on eBay, but we never replaced it. So we lost a tanker. So we're actually down a treatment vehicle. But we still have, between the 6 workers, counting myself at the street department that we use, and then the 2 at the park, we have the resources for 8 guys. So this would make also our 8th vehicle for treatment. It would also pull the Durapatcher down.
I mean, at our height at the street department, I think we were at 13.
When I started, there was 10 plus superintendent then. And that was almost 20 years ago.
The parts
Now
we
we're-
add to it.
Yeah.
So now we're down to 6.
Right.
And then we use the park guys when they are available to use.
Yeah.
This truck could also be used for cul-de-sacs, which would
Oh,
be
yeah.
easier to do.
Well, yeah, we got more dead end streets that aren't even called, you know, they're seats.
And then this truck would replace, the 1996 F-350 that we use to do catch basins
Yeah.
and different
Yeah.
things like that. So it would be a utility truck that we would use in the summertime too.
Yeah.
Replacing that three fifty.
Yes. And the legislative request, we just paid $135
For the tandem.
for the tandem
Last year.
dump truck. This is, we think it's gonna be, we couldn't get a definite price on some of the things, but I wrote the legislative request appropriate within capital improvement fund not to exceed $80,000 to purchase a 2016, because I said that we can get that from Matthews Ford under the state bid, and they said that's the truck that we would be getting with a dump body and snow plow. So if we go to a smaller truck that we can still use for plowing, use it during the summer time to replace the truck we're using to fix catch basins and other things that we work on in the city on a daily basis. So this truck is easier to get into. Then that's $35,000 or $55,000 cheaper than a dump truck would be that we just purchased. And then this will be a multi-use vehicle that we could use for other things. The dump trucks are hard to use really for anything else except throwing dirt in or other
Right.
material or plowing with. Other than that, you can't use them basically on a daily basis and put stuff in
Yeah,
the
we
bed
want
a
it to
whole
be
lot.
specific for multi-use, you know.
Why don't you pass that
Yeah,
picture?
yeah.
$350.
That's the one
Well,
we're
we're
really
trading in.
replacing.
Oh,
The F-350 doesn't really have the capability of put on. You know,
like those over there?
it's very similar to a lot of the Dodges,
These that
except
you
for
can
it's
see
a
over
standard cab. That blue one out there is a double cab, but it's the same size. They don't have a bed like the picture of the bed on the one there.
Did you say that was in your budget?
I talked to them, it's not in my operating budget, I put it under capital improvements with the mayor. And he said that capital improvements for 2015, he didn't put any money in, but there was leftover money from last year. That's what he told me.
Say how much?
I don't know, but right, capital improvements today, there's $2 million. I don't, like I said, Jay said there was like 200 some thousand.
227.
That's above the 2 million that's already in there. Yeah.
From what somebody threw on the
We've definitely done stuff. That's all there is to it.
I think what your money is.
Anyway.
Stabilization got it to 2 million. I think this was already.
That's a brine water tank, too, is that in here too?
What's that? No, the
Put the
brine
brine
water tank is not on that spec.
We would buy that out of my operating budget.
What do you think that's gonna,
$1,200.
1,200?
Yeah.
What else am I missing?
Some plumbing, but we'll do that all in-house for the tank itself.
Anything else would just come out of our budget, just to connect the stuff. But this will replace a truck that we're using every day, but you know, we can use it for plowing too, which would be a better truck. We don't want to plow the other truck, right?
No.
So this would
it hasn't been in
get us
service
up to
for
where we need to be with our plowing capabilities. And I'll talk a little bit more about our guys that what their role is going to be with the plowing.
So do we have enough bodies to man every vehicle we're talking about?
We have, well, in the parks, we'll have 3 guys that are available.
Okay.
So we'll have,
Now have 8
Right, I mean, our trade-off is we're getting the 2 guys from them, and that's, you know,
and not every time you go out, it's not, I mean, you want it to be, but there are things that happen, and someone may not be available at times, so park guy gives us that extra guy. And if we don't have enough trucks for them, then they go out and pick up trucks and do all the, like, City Hall.
Put in the past, I mean, Craig and Craner and those guys, they were out plowing anyway, right?
Craig probably was very limited to what he was
Yeah,
doing at the end. Craner has been very valuable.
Yeah,
East side guy, is that
Yeah,
Craner?
yeah.
he's been very valuable.
Yeah.
Miss him
Oh,
plowing
yeah.
a lot.
I'd say the last 3 years, he's been with us every single snow event, you know.
The guy.
Well, I did it when I was at the parks, you know, but not, but now we have to rely on them. We're down to 6 guys at the street department, you know. If you wanna treat all the roads we have one time around in 3 hours, you gotta have 8 pretty much gone. And we have 7 now, counting one's park guy, but hopefully we'll have,
And on the
Can you
east
have 8 all
side,
the time?
you must have to keep someone there the whole time.
yeah, can't really
You
leave.
can't really pull them off of there because if it snow again, they can't get a Blue Jay and all those hills, and then we do get
Hard to
cars.
get up, Linville,
Yeah.
right past my driveway.
Blackfoot Trail is tricky too, going down that hill
Yeah.
past the fire station.
So this is legislative.
Of course, if we start getting freezing rain, I think
As long as mayor's got some magical,
We met with him today.
Well,
Jeff.
I understand.
We met with him today. He, and I had talked to him during our budget talks about it. He said, you know, he didn't say no, I'll tell you that, he didn't say no today about anything.
I'm not being critical, I'm just constructively, have we got other
Minor.
things in mind? Has anybody else, Tim, have you seen capital improvement wish list or projection or? Okay,
See, it used to be that we would go in and the capital improvements would be approved ahead of time, because we knew how
Right.
much we had, and then we would put the list up here.
It usually
and you
came in
kinda
conjunction
knew where
with
you
your budget.
stood.
with your
Right.
budget, and
Right.
that didn't happen this year.
And I did see there was 2 million. He said there was some money left over from last year. I don't know what that is, or money we haven't come back the year before, so that's, telling you what I know on that, so. Okay,
Is that on your list?
no. I didn't know. Then, I don't have anything else unless someone has, something else. I think that, John and Eddie and you, Chris has talked to Jobs about street light timing on 79.
They're gonna apply for in essence, it's a grant through the state, RODOT. They'll go through and look at all of our timing sequences and recommend any kind of changes. They'll even implement the coordination of it. Cause I think it all stems, you know, I talked to John Groff after, it changed over there. Well, we had different, there's intersections that are different now, so the old coordination isn't really
Courtney.
what, yeah. When you change intersections and add turn lanes and all that, whatever was old coordination shouldn't be applied to what, if you want it optimal, so there's something to where they can check into it, they're gonna do the paperwork to get that started. And on the implementation, if we approve it, or if ODOT approves it, will be covered expense. The only thing that wouldn't be is any kind of mechanical stuff in the boxes or traffic control, what they recommend if we choose to purchase. But they will come in and actually program it, set us all up with it, show it to us. And, so really, it was, you might as well try to get it. Type thing, so.
I got a question about something else. The light there at Meritor in the morning,
Yeah.
has it got a bad loop or
It's,
something?
it's been given, mostly just since this winter
Yeah,
started. I mean, we've had a lot of fits with
we
that.
had, okay.
Yeah, and then the first time ever, this past sideways snow, the cameras at 79 and Hopewell,
Oh, they're covered?
yeah, and 21st Street wasn't cycling.
Is that
And
why
then
we
it-
had a snow emergency? Is that why?
Well, yeah, I don't,
I was gonna ask the question.
yeah,
With the accumulation and such.
Yeah.
It seemed a little,
it was short-lived, I mean,
yeah, it was very quick,
Right.
just a few hours,
Right.
but it was because it blocked some
I don't
cameras
know
from
if the actual,
signals or what?
I think just the whole, it was the mess of traffic and the danger. I mean,
Okay.
when that hit on 79, I was on 79, I couldn't even see the plow right in front of me, and we were going maybe 5 miles an hour. And you don't know if a car's gonna be stopped. I mean, it just went on for about an hour with just
Yeah, I was-
gridlock. I mean,
I was out of town,
It was- yeah.
Jake had a game, so I was going to there, and then Chris called me, and he just said that, man, it's getting bad, and then Hopewell, we're gonna talk there, so I called the mayor, and Chris had asked for that, so the mayor agreed to that, and kept it on for, how, 3
Till
hours,
5 o'clock.
About
and then
3 or
took
4
it back
Yeah.
off again, so that's why
of
that's.
course, the
where-
county, I think, maintained on through the night, I think, so they were already, they were even into the next day, I believe. Did they, the county, really?
I thought they were level too.
Huh.
I I was on 79 too, and it was like a
Oh.
whiteout, it was frightening.
I
I wasn't
was.
driving, but I was using my brake on the
And,
passenger
and,
side. It was just
and it's
doing
always
it.
bad by the airport, you know, there you couldn't see anything,
It
and,
was bad.
Yeah, well,
and if someone had stopped, then it'd cause a wreck, too,
Yeah.
just like on 70. And,
my boy, they were headed up to High Northern, and they stopped the bus 2 different times that they couldn't see. And the game was supposed to start at 3. He called me and said that was stopped. And so I turned around.
Yeah.
And I didn't go.
and it didn't just end once the snow stopped, it maintained that wind forever, so that was just,
Because it wasn't wet snow.
right, it was such a powdery stuff, yeah.
Usually that doesn't stop me, but I didn't had no. Well, to tell you the truth, I had a Valentine's thing to go to, and you would understand what I had. I did the right thing. You know, I did
Can you
that.
straighten his head up a little bit? A little crooked.
So the whites are-
The first round of the line.
Yeah, yep, they'll be the ones,
That's all I have.
Okay.
That it?
Anything else?
Oh,
Well, nothing else?
Got a question. That pole we replaced down at, is that thing still getting hit? It still looks straight up to me.
Which pole?
Okay, now what now? The one that
We moved the
we didn't move.
lights.
We got a new one.
Put a new pole up.
We put a new pole.
We got a new pole. We had to get a new pole at our expense. That other one seems to be straighter than hell.
Parkview and 79? Is that
Yeah.
the one you're talking about?
Poles
Yeah.
crooked?
I just wondered
I
if
think
you
you're
had
talking
any
about the old one.
reports.
It's still where
The old one
powder
we
pole
left
is.
there, and I'll tell you why we left it there. Now we could.
Well, I'm just saying it doesn't look like it's been beat up.
Oh, it's got dents in it that were. I asked Jobs, and then they checked the company, and if it happened to fall or anything happened to it, they would not, they wouldn't be covered under anything. It would be our fault. But it had been hit 2 or 3 times, and then we left it there so people don't drive over the curb like semis. It's like a bollard that we left there, and because if we didn't leave it there, they would just drive right over top of the curb and drive through Chipotle's yard. But I had Jobs check that, and they checked with the company, and with it being hit 2 or 3 times, it wasn't crooked. It just had a big kink in it, and they were. The worry was that if it got hit again or something happened, it could go down, and we would be liable for it.
So if a truck comes around the corner and hits that, it moves on, and then eventually it falls down and wipes out a couple of cars, is it our responsibility?
If it gets bent right now, but see, with the pole being there, we don't have the mast arm on top of it like we did before, so there won't be as much pressure on it. If it gets hit and gets bent, then we'll probably take it out and do something. But I thought that we would have to do something there anyway, because they're just going to destroy that corner. If that
That pole is
pole
there.
hadn't been there, they just drive right
Keep
through
right on
there.
going over the curbs and that.
And
So, hey,
probably
let them
bust
tear
up
their,
our-
let them tear their trailer up on that pole.
or we'll do what the guy did on Keller and Irving Wick.
Yeah.
Jeff
They
Moore.
post up with the things sticking out so that rips the cars once they go
They
by.
haven't bumped that.
They haven't hit that in 2 years.
They're avoiding that. There's something to it, but I don't think we'd be allowed to do it.
No, we wouldn't.
We'll get our specs from Jeff Moore from here on out.
Yeah.
Anything else for Bob? We have nothing else, we'll adjourn at 6:12.
All right, and we will call Park Recreation and David Shai to order at 6:13. First item on the agenda, taking pool applications. Bob, do you want agendas?
Or do they want it to speak
Oh,
ahead in
oh,
case we run late?
okay. Were you guys here for something specific that you wanted to speak about? No. Okay.
No.
Well, I thought you might be, so.
You just missed me?
Oh,
Just interested citizens, huh?
We're just checking on it.
All right, good enough.
You can leave if you
No,
want.
I'll stick around.
I talked about some of these things last month a little bit, but we are taking applications. The guys, Mr. Mitchell, still calling Mr. Mitchell because he was my teacher, and Charlie Kyle went out and visited Licky Valley, Newark. I think they went to Granville, Heath, Lakewood, Catholic, for whatever reason, won't listen to their school. I think we talked about that last time.
I don't understand that at all.
They said the turnout wasn't great, though. They said Licking Valley, I think, didn't even announce it when we were out there.
What'd you say?
I said I do. Bucks Lane.
Well, the story was that if you have enough money to send your kids to North Catholic, you don't need a summer job. That's what I heard.
That's all it took for him to leave? That's all.
That. So anyway, we
I sent 5 of them, Meredith.
so,
Hey, I hate to be doing it today. I couldn't today.
So with that, they said we had a great turnout at Heath. So, and again, we would like to hire all Heath kids was good anyway. So we had a great turnout there. So the recruiting thing, we've never really had problems getting kids to work at the pool. And again, this year the minimum wage went up to $8.10. So that's a 15-cent increase over last year. So anyway, we talked about that before. So we did have a good turnout at Heath. Hopefully we'll have plenty of applicants. Usually we can turn 50 or 75 kids away at that time. So we've always had a pretty good response to that. The second thing on the agenda is the park test. Park test was given, I think it was on the 31st of January. And what I heard today is a little bit different than what I heard originally. I heard like over 60 people took it, 51 people passed the test, which is 70% or higher. So they sent us 7 applications. We're going to hire 2 people. And we interviewed those 7 last week. And we offered the job to 2 people. One person accepted the job, the other person didn't because of the pay. So the mayor requested some new names. We received 7 more applications to go through. We interviewed 2 today, and then we have 5 more to do Wednesday and Thursday. And then we'll offer.
They didn't have an idea of what the wage was when they took the test.
Some of them take the test knowing, because I think they did post it in there, is what I heard. But they tried to negotiate a higher salary, some of them do. Because the mayor would start them at 1A. I mean, we asked why they take the test. I don't know what I guess I can say, but out of the 7, 6 of them were over 50 years old of the 7. And we're in it, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I think some of them are established in a job. Some of them weren't established. Some of them were looking for a change, and some of them might come in and see if they can negotiate the salary a little higher. That's what they try to do sometimes. So in the one case, the mayor didn't, negotiate with him, and the other guy accepted it. So we're going through 7 more this week to hire 1 more. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have progress. Those participants hired.
These people have CDL.
Not all.
It wasn't required.
They have 6 months. They have 6 months to get their CDL. We had a reason for not requiring CDL this time, and it didn't really work. but
Well, given what we need them to be pushing snow and just about all
well,
these vehicles need a
most of the
CDL.
time we do this now, it'll be second week of March, maybe later before some of them could start. So hopefully snow season will be over in this 2 weeks. So I went through the interviews. It's an interesting process. By the time we get done with this, it'll be 14 people we've interviewed. It's just some people with the economy. A lot of guys. I have friends that lost their jobs or they downsized. it takes time to find something, you know, so I think there are a lot of older people who are looking for jobs that don't have it, so. Next thing is we're still preparing for the pool. We had our opening meeting with Ann Clippinger and Rhonda Brown, and they are both coming back to the pool, which is great. Craig not being there, I think I talked about the last time that Ronnie and Phil Mitchell will be opening the pool. Phil has said that he will come back for us in that capacity to help us. We asked some of the participants in the parks job if they had any pool experience. No one really had much of all. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I gotta go back to the other one.
Okay.
This park test,
Uh-huh.
aren't they civil service that interview them and send them to us?
No.
They provide the test.
They provide
They
the
do
test.
the interviews.
Yeah, they provide a test.
They give the top X amount
They
that's
tell you
sent back.
who's there, and then they send him to
They take the top 7 that scored on the test, and they give us the top. In this case, they gave us top 7 because we were interviewing 2 people, or going to hire 2 people. So they give us the top 7.
so 14 total.
And then we interview.
I don't understand how we
How we what?
go through 7 people that 6 of them don't want the job.
No, we didn't offer it to everyone. We only offered it to 2 people. The other ones we decided between Ron and the mayor and myself that we just didn't want to offer them the job.
So you only interviewed 2 and
We interviewed 7. We offered the job to 2 out of the 7.
2 positions.
2 positions.
You got one of the 2.
One accepted, the other one declined. So then they gave us another 7 names to interview. We went down to the next 7 people on the list.
You have to establish a good cause for not hiring those initial 7 to get people.
They didn't ask, but because we had hired someone, if we hadn't hired anyone from the top 7, they might have pushed that a little bit on us. But because we hired one of them and really offered the job to 2 of them, then they didn't really say anything. So they gave us another list of names. We've had our own employees in the city of Heath take promotional tests and then not take the job.
I mean, how far apart were we on between what they thought they were getting or what they wanted and?
The difference in his salary was $13,000. $13,000
Difference.
why did he get one? He must be one well of a negotiator.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to go with.
Think if
Sometimes when you
a lot of
interview.
people look at the rec department like jobs thinking, hey, I can go out there and get some sunshine, hang out the pool a little bit.
Yeah, maybe when we described what the job was of dumping trash cans and and plowing snow on a 24-hour call, maybe they didn't like that combination. I don't know, but until they take the test and if they get interviewed, they may not know. I mean, we put a job description in there, but some people just take stuff on a whim and just see what happens. Just have to go through that process.
Question on the opening before. Obviously, we've been underwater. How many years in a row now?
Our operating, we haven't been underwater. We've been underwater because of the debt service. We are still breaking even on operating costs, but our debt service is what puts us under. It's still around 35, 40,000.
Do we give Ann a budget, a payroll budget to try to stay inside of?
Well, we
Within
try.
reason?
Yeah, we were inside of it. I think we were inside of it last year. Usually our budget, we've had to raise it because of the minimum wage.
Understand.
And we are required to have so many people there at one time to guard the pool. We tried to cut back people in the concession and maintenance. We try to keep the place as nice as we can. We have tried to cut back there. But I said usually our budget is I don't know what it is this year, 200, 225. I'm not sure what it is for the payroll this year. But if we're open so many hours, we just can't send guards home if we're getting close to that. Now maybe some areas we won't spend as much money. We are receiving more money for swim lessons and things like that. But I usually get the payroll a month after it's happened, so it's hard for me to stay real close to where we're at. But I'm always harking to our managers about sending people home. Last year we sent people home when we were, all the non-essentials. We still have to have the guards there. We tried to do that. We tried to cut back. And with this meeting we had the other day, we're still trying to tweak things and trying to keep, my managers always want raises, and I just have to keep saying no. It just can't happen. And again, we talked about the pricing. We keep raising them, and then people still buy them. Could you raise the walk-in rate? I hear people say it's too expensive to go to their pool, and it costs too much for a family. So there's a fine line, but I think the way it's always happened is that we try to recoup our money. Once we get the debt service paid off, we'll be in a lot better shape with that. And then, like I said before, this year is one of the first years that we couldn't really pay almost anything on the debt service. But up to that point, we had paid over $1 million from the pool money. That again was not even in the plans because the city was willing to pay that debt service for the 20 years. And then when we made the money we did, then the city didn't do that anymore, which has been a great thing. So even if we have to pay the debt service, at least we've saved a lot of money by doing it that way.
Is there any capital improvements that are urgent there? I mean,
there's going to be a few things. We finished some of the leaks that were repaired, but they were going to come back and look again until we fire it up again next year, because some of the things they completed after the pool was closed. So we'll have to see where we are there. The outside of the building, the bathhouse needs painted, but we'll have to look at all those things. And Brian's getting estimates on that stuff now. Anything that happens when we open the pool, sometimes you find out like the heater doesn't work, some pumps go out, a major pump could go out. You just don't know until you get into it.
But nothing huge like a roof replacement, like
I know that the old bathhouse or the old filler building for the old pool has the guy that looks at our stuff has recommended that needs to be replaced, but we're still looking at that. It wouldn't be as much as what we spent last year if we have to do that. But I don't see anything major right this moment, but I'm not saying I may not come in here and ask for 20,000, 30,000 for capital improvements to make sure we can get some things done to keep the place looking halfway decent. But we've done some major things with the roof repair and things like that.
We do some maintenance on the slides, and we replace some umbrellas and some things like that, right?
Yeah, and some of those were replaced by the insurance money when we had the storm. The umbrellas, some of those were insurance money that we received.
We've got 10 years on this. How many years have we got on improvements?
2002, we did the improvements. So 13 years. I mean, I don't know if you looked at that, it was 7 years ago then, or we refinanced. Does that kick in another 10 years? I think we have like 7 or 8 years left maybe on the debt service. And it was lowered a little bit, Heath refinanced it, we did lower the debt service a little bit. But I guess go ahead, Dick.
And I've asked before, but, is the concession stand making money, or is it?
Probably not with the employees we have in there. It's a convenience. We tried that, you can't cook anything in there, First of all, when we built the pool in 1971, there was a separate concession stand designed for the pool. And back then, they decided to eliminate that concession stand, and they moved it into the bathhouse. And we did have ways to cook hot dogs and hamburgers. We had a grill in there. Well, then the suppression systems came in. Suppression system, I can't tell you what it was at that time when Roger was here. I don't know. 30,000, 50,000, I don't know what it was. So he decided not to do that. And then we bought microwaves, we bought sandwiches you could throw in a microwave, we ordered pizza from a local pizza place, and we do the drinks. And there's just not a whole lot of profit margin on those things. So the concession stand, maybe during the course of 1 o'clock to 1:50, it's not so packed, but then you get the break, then you have a lot of people there, and you gotta have people be able to work in there. So where you keep 6 people in there, okay, pick up trash in between when it's not so busy. We're cleaning bathhouses, the boys and girls. I mean, those things have to be checked all the time because you could clean it, walk out, and 5 minutes later you have some mess in there that you have to clean up. So
We consider contracting that?
we tried. We've asked many people. We asked Chris May. We've asked McDonald's. We've had people look at it. The money they have to put into it, I guess they decided it hasn't been cost efficient to do.
What do we get for the trailer, the food trailer in West Park there?
That
What's
we
the-
usually get around, I think it's 1,500 we get. Which is, it might take a little bit out of that, but he just serves the French fries now, so that's all he sells, and we get 1,500 out of it.
How about vending machines?
Huh?
How about just,
Well, we've
Vending
tried that,
machines.
but when people put their money in and they can't get their money out, then you have to wait for that guy to come back to fix it.
we have tried it out there?
Yes, we have. And it hasn't, Phil and Jane will tell you when they were there, it was the biggest headache they ever had. I mean, we have looked at
We can't keep losing money if it's a losing
well, I
proposition.
mean, it's a convenience for your patrons. Maybe if you don't have any food at all, maybe some people won't come because there isn't anything to eat or drink there.
I don't envision too many people going to the pool for the food. You want good food, stay home and eat,
Well, we've tried multiple things.
I know.
Anything under other, Bob?
Nope.
Anybody else, anything for Parks Rec, David Shea? Yes, Ron.
A question and the agendas for the parks and the streets and the council, they're not current. People, like, I usually come anyway, but a lot of people, if there's something on there that interests them, they would wanna know ahead of time to,
So on
to
the
come.
website, you're saying
Yeah,
they're not.
and the website's not being updated.
I give them, I email my agenda usually on Fridays before 12. Now, for this one, it was Saturday morning before I sent it in. Our meeting was today's Tuesday. But they required me to have my agendas emailed in to Lynn Hunt, the clerk of council, and I'll also CC the mayor. And then from there, I couldn't tell you what happens. I would assume they email it to council.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to email it to the news media. Now, who's responsible to put it on the website, that I don't know. That's internal in there, and I don't know who.
Is that
I don't know who's
a
responsible.
consistent problem, or is the holiday possibly what happened?
It's not the first time. I know I was just looking at it a minute ago, and our last streets and parks was January 20th, I think, and the last council.
Now and again, that could be my fault because I didn't do it till Saturday morning. I was off Friday, and then I remembered I didn't do my agenda, so I went in Saturday morning and did my agenda early in the morning and emailed it to Lynn. Now, Lynn has been off for a week,
Okay.
so that could be
Agenda's sick.
why
Lynn's off agenda sick.
the agenda has been sick, so maybe that's why this time
We'll look
that
into
it wasn't.
Talk to Lynn and find out.
Yeah, but it should be on there.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
One other thing,
Yes.
I asked a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, about the bed tax revenue for 2014. Anybody get a number on that yet?
I thought the mayor got with you on that.
He said he thought he knew about what it was, but I don't even recall
of what we collected in 2014?
Yeah.
Give me 3 minutes, I'll have that answer. I'm sure I didn't write it down, but it's right on my desk. You guys keep going.
So they get 90%.
Yeah.
But they didn't get any.
This year, but last year, what did they get?
They got 118,000.
So
That
that
was
was
the
90,
basic
so
stuff.
that was
90%.
90%, so I'd say, so.
But that was from 2013.
That was for 2013, though, Bob.
They get 95%?
That was from 2013, Bob. We don't know, because they would have been getting.
Oh, okay.
Was 95% or 90?
No.
95, okay.
I mean, that, the bed taxes went up and down. It's, in fact, in the last few years, it's really kind of went up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's went up.
2013, I don't know about 2014.
Was that
We'll
the
know
one year
soon.
because
Holiday,
places at the fire, that the
holiday, yeah, with the rooms were back up,
Yeah.
so probably one.
but as the cost of rooms go up, that goes up.
Anything else under other while we wait for that figure?
We just get the casino.
You said
kind of
something
have
about
our
there.
name.
They pay so much in taxes next
We turn that dipshit.
All right.
Casinos to pass. We can't spend.
Well, that's what most of ours are. We've been
We
doing
didn't
a
have
lot
enough
of
crap tables.
I got it about 2 o'clock last night. We were still
We
there.
get, we can
Got
find
my
that
eyes
pool.
open a little bit.
Do you know, they get, they get, I kind of.
We didn't swim up like that. We didn't swim up like that. Lazy River. Yeah, on the Lazy River.
What's the deal with the state trucks coming?
What
I
was the
apologize,
figure?
I know we talked about, or I mean, the mayor and I.
He wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
You said 130, 180?
131.8.
Okay, I know that's where some of the, where that's.
Okay, anything else for Parks Rec and David Shea?
Yeah.
People turn from
Right,
the
yeah.
What was it, sir?
131.
I don't know. I haven't seen you do it. I've only seen that twice.
No, but that's 118.
Too snow.
Probably one thing, it could be different for ours, because normally
All
they
right.
go into the dog.
All right, we will adjourn at
Sometimes.
6:36.
Down to the dirt, that would make more sense.
You got finance agenda, Jay, you're having it?
Yeah.
Good job.
It's so much easier than what they've got.
I forgot your guys'
They
schedule.
are probably doing that because they want to turn around.
250
And they'll put that snow street.
I'm trying to remember
all the way
the
across, you know, to turn left. Generally, we try to avoid it, too, because it's okay where all the snow, but
We started drawing though. I put $5 each. You actually had your eligible to win.
How much?
Well, we found out
Well, it's
that
35. You got 2 tickets. It's 35 a ticket. $70.
But
You
now.
can write a check or whatever. Keeps your total 250.
Can I use your checkbook? Mine's at home. Can I use your checkbook? Mine's at home.
My checkbook's at home too. So you gotta get mine for just
Okay, yeah.
He give me, I don't, I mean, he gives me another time. I'll just make sure. I'll just take the
Yeah.
end and win.
They will get that regardless.
I know you're big on that, anyway. So we have
I
everything.
think
I don't know.
Nice.
I'm only
kidding about that.
Oh, I'm gonna find out. I told you I was
Right.
before.
She gave me some stuff I keep in my safe, too, like his retirement stuff, you know,
Maybe
just
it's
stuff like that. But yeah, oh yeah, she had every clipping from North. Remember
I
that?
wondered if he'd go talk to me about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Well,
gonna
he
find
told
out.
me the other day about it.
they probably, if they let you, then they got let other people pretty soon in his career.
Yeah. Well, I know, I see the
Stranger danger, look at that.
You know,
Yeah.
the annual
Yeah.
thing when they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
you know, she shows me that in the paper all the time.
They did. Well, that's college. That's a little different than a job.
Yeah.
The job is.
That's for.
Woman works Mondays,
And I knew, my answer back and forth was hours.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't get him.
Right.
The other people I know, see, I wasn't back.
Yeah. Yeah, too. I mean, a lot of the active guys that are gone, you know, gals too. What, I knew he, when he was getting ready.
Oh, I wonder who that was.
Yeah, she said, he was
That's
really
covered.
active. I mean, he probably
Oh, the blueberry.
She's a piece of work. She has a
Oh, yeah.
story about her kids every day.
She had a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, he was
stories.
a,
Keeps entertaining.
yeah.
I
There was a
forgot
guy
to
named,
talk to the
Trent
two on the
that lived
bus.
up in Akron, I
Might
think.
be
Something
trouble,
Trent.
but I'll get
And,
with it.
that's
Let's
who
make
they
it up
got
tonight.
to really know.
As a favor,
I don't think so, I mean,
we're going to allow
nothing
you.
really enters me, I heard about all the streets and everything.
What do you think?
Did
Rob?
you, well, listen to this, someone told me you were going to do these ordinances through you in here or something.
What did you
Is that
think
true?
your son is
Well,
getting to be a real?
I don't know, they're gonna look to talk about it, but I don't know how they could,
I thought so, he had all the.
unless you guys go through.
Group them together.
The only
Yeah,
thing
oh,
that
yeah.
the only thing I know, I was allowed to group together
Yeah,
with
oh,
my
yeah,
agenda,
yeah.
that I didn't have to write out each one of them.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were talking about today.
Yeah, I
was-
know.
I asked the mayor, I go, holy
Yeah,
crap.
where's the bathroom? Somebody else
We're just
is
gonna,
here.
we're gonna,
My guys, to read that account, or you
Well,
kind of, you know, then they gotta drive half hour to get here. You know, it's over like.
if I don't go, I can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we can't, no, we can't make any changes to any of them as it is. We have to either up or down the way they're
Depends
written.
on the snow.
We're not gonna do, we're gonna do each one
Well, yeah,
individually, but we're not
depends
gonna
on
vote on
this
them,
weather.
we're just gonna read them. That's so be yours.
You do.
I get some, I mean, they're gonna say, never read them, I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read them in their entirety. Whereas,
Fast,
but,
can't you?
you?
Fast roll. How many?
You won't have to take it out. No, you're not.
Yeah, you're just reading.
Yeah, all them scenes.
I gotta take regular roll calls then.
So often, so I need to miss the next meeting.
Next meeting. Next meeting.
There's something important we got.
Remember, next meeting.
I saw that in the news too. As soon as I saw that, I said, oh boy, I'm so well, everybody gets to be doing our own.
Is it less, but maybe Henry scored more than
I tell you what, Henry, when we went out there to beat they ran up the back street. I tell you what, this head
Yeah, he's on the name.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll switch around there. See, I know I have stuff and mom has stuff. I'll tell her, she'd be glad to, you know, if people want to talk about it and that stuff. And one of these days, I want that deal and they do that. I'll probably ought to get something, you know,
I told him we could use it.
Most of those people probably don't know who the board was. I said it was a certain name, you
I
know.
guess I'd go to Navy.
Oh, I know, he spent a lot of time on the phone, and, if he's state president, then I know he did something beyond that even. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We waiting on anything in particular here?
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear my it just feels like
The only thing was different then was
No, I've been
the
thinking
just quit, so he knew everybody. And now, you know, I don't
That's why they played cards last week. Coming on 20 years, I thought, so I could have played, but I don't intimidate you guys or anything like that. Maybe I'll get
there's
better.
still work out there, Bo, you're whatnot. I mean, a lot of them retired and went back out to work here. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. All right, take care.
Wednesday is
Yeah.
the last.
We need to sign.
I came in Thursday from work.
We need to sign.
And Friday I
Get
stayed
you back
home.
in.
And I was up Saturday, Sunday, and then back to work.
Probably a good idea. I'll save a seat for you.
What?
I'll save a seat for you.
Too cold for me to stop it.
Go down. You want to get out of here?
I got out of the car probably once. And then it's like, I hear some cough, but nothing's
You
coming
talk
out.
about going up
It's
to the
like,
game, but
my chest hurts. It's just like,
I got some.
it's not gonna
yeah.
be.
All I've been taking.
They passed
I think I did the
Henry's son.
Oh, okay.
Beer is
Went
not.
away a little bit.
Bloody Mary's in the outdoor.
Get me back into that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see tomorrow, I suppose. I see him more now than I have been.
You're cheap 15 years.
That's scary.
To the crap table.
Yeah, come up that much though.
Yeah.
That's
Ron's
You know, it was $10. It was $8
He's
each
not
year.
gonna
Person goes, you know, the parents who can't pay for them. He lose the money. So I go, how much is $8? I can take chips. I take, you know what? 360 on my hand. I know. Step table. Then he gets, just kept giving me $100. He always lose on my money, so I give him $100. I started losing when I did that. He says, Jake, stay out of the get out of here. They bought around there. I said, I paid $20 for 4 beers.
Mike, Stacy's cousin, I know it's up there, but that's where and he won, you know, he met me in Columbus, he had to take some, like 4 days, I mean, it was like 4 days, he was ready to.
Oh, he's ready to win.
He only played half, he puts 25 or 30 minutes up on, he doesn't play anything.
And if guys are getting numbers, he makes money. And if they're not,
I know,
he's
both
not.
times, he said, you go to the streets, it's bad shape, that's the game. And then he goes, I don't understand why you don't put why you play it all.
Because the longer you hold on to it,
Yeah, and then I'll need to have more action, I can't put as much money on the outside.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, $7 will kick you.
$60-70 out there every time.
Well, you know, yesterday, when I went out there and it was your turn to roll, and I went out there and I had 15, I had the odds, I had the 6, the 8, the 5, and on there. The next number was a 7. It's like, I had $80 out there. It's like, because I counted it, because I was like, I had 36 here, I had 4 on the hard ones, that's 40. And I had 15 on the 5s, that's 55. I had 15 on the pass line, that's 70. And I had $10 behind it, that was 80. Exactly $80 out there when you win. So
You should have looked at it,
and
Keller.
I looked at you and I went,
I wasn't looking at you, I'll tell you that.
I was like, yes, I was staring, and you're looking the other way, you're not even looking at me, and I'm like, seriously?
I rolled
And that's what I said, that's what I said, I'm out of here. So
I rolled horrible. Yesterday, I started off, I'm rolling good again, and then, but my last roll, I got it going again.
Yeah. Oh, I usually go through, sometimes we don't have terrible, but usually you have that one roll where all of a sudden you hit several numbers, okay, and all of a sudden you get all your money back. If I would just bet on my roll, I'd never bet anybody else. I'd make money every time I play crap. You know, I can't stand there. I can't stand there for an hour waiting for the dice to come around.
Sometimes I'll play just one place bet, but it's usually play 6 and 8, and it's like 5 times in a row.
Hey, Brian wasn't going to be here tonight. I remember he's on vacation. Yeah. All right, we're going to do finance or what's happening? Finance?
Everybody here?
Yeah, Brian's not going to be here. I forgot.
Everybody have a copy of the agenda?
Yeah, California.
Everybody got an agenda?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's start at 6:46.
Grab the gavel.
All right. 6:46, 6:47. We got 4 legislative requests. I had the other one here later. First one's an ordinance authorizing the appropriation of $5,000 within the general fund for fire and training and registration. That comes from Marathon Petroleum, right?
Yeah.
Okay, comes out of Brian's department committee. Any other comments from anyone? Committee, okay?
Just kind of get passed through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they donated the money and they're.
Address here tomorrow. Second one, enter an agreement with Franklin Township, Licking County, to provide fire and EMS protection from January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2016. We're going to have $6,500 this year.
That's the same as it was last year.
I think it went up. Yeah, it's going to go up $200 next year to $6,700 for 2016. I believe it was
67 or 66?
He's got 67 here in ink.
Oh, okay.
I'm presuming that that was blessed and signed by.
6,500 and 6,700 is in the thing. It's in the ordinance that way.
Comments about that? All right, next, we got a whole slew of ordinances for civil service modifications and adoptions. I assume we're gonna go over those you wanna go over those now, or you wanna go over those in caucus?
It doesn't matter.
If everybody's got them here, we can kinda go over them now if you want.
Okay. Is the law director here? Because I'd like him in here. When
He
we do it.
was.
Why don't we skip over that real quick and go to the Heath wages and
Dave's
benefits,
not here?
and then we can. I saw him walk in.
The fourth one is obviously appropriate within capital improvements fund not to exceed $80,000 to purchase a 2016 F-550 dump body and snowplow. Coming out of the street department, we talked about that this evening. Doug, any other comments?
No, I just think, I think it's a good addition. I really believe we need to do it. I mean, if you look in the 90s, we got 14 vehicles. 2000, we bought 4, and since then we've done 2. So I just feel that, hey, I think money well spent, especially to be able to handle that dirt patch with that small truck.
It's going to be a very busy utility.
Oh, I do. I really do.
Dirt patch.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Committee? All right, on to other items, Heath wages and benefits chart. Jay?
This is the chart that I talked about in the past that I believe Keith had handed out, and I finally got all the information collected, or I shouldn't say Debbie got all the information collected, and there's where a lot of our money goes. I just thought everybody should have a copy of that year to year, and I'll keep updating that as we move forward. Other than that, the only thing that I really have is the auditors have been in, or were in last week from Wilson, Shannon, and Snow. They collected information. I will meet with them later this week on some quick recommendations. They'll take the information back. They'll meet back with me late May, early June to as we prepare and finish off the CAFR and the GAP report. Right now we're our fixed assets. It's all getting collected, and then all that stuff goes to Schoenhart, and like I said, our CAFR will be completed by June 30th. So other than that.
We'll do those ordinances under caucus. So you can be done with finance if you want to, Jeff.
Anything else for finance? Once, twice. Turn at 6:52.
You won't need to give us a link, because this will obviously separate.